call to order the meeting of the Codes and Regulations Committee for October 27th, 2025. Before we begin, we will have Pastor Corey Whitford of State Line Youth for Christ give an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Assuming that Pastor Whitford is here. Since he appears to not be here, and since the mayor has talked about Alderwoman Tarina's prowess, and would you mind, Alderman Beach, if we let Alderwoman Tarina? Yes, I really would. Oh. If you could do us the honor.
Ask that you keep your hand of protection around the individuals that keep us safe, our first responders, Lord. And I just pray that we just have a good and productive evening and make the best decisions that we can for the people of our city. In your name we pray, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Alderwoman. And before we move into our agenda, we're also going to have public speakers tonight. We have 5 speakers signed up. For those of you who haven't addressed council before, you have 3 minutes. You can approach either of the 2 microphones in the back of the room, and you will be notified of your 3 minutes is up when by the alarm on my phone. So our first speaker tonight is John Tack Brantley.
Good evening. Our mayor has stepped out. All the persons, our citizens of Rockford, Illinois, but many of those that's watching tonight. We have over 6.3 million blacks that didn't vote and what have you. Now you're finna read what you wrote. But I want to talk about last week. This is the 5th time that they show white privilege is alive and well here in Rockford. We talk about South Africa apartheid. Apartheid is right here in Rockford. It's alive and well. That Elk building was more important than talking about Project 2025. Mind you, coming on the 1st, they are going to stop the SNAP program. How the HELL, they're going to stop Head Start program and other programs that the Department of Human Resources take care of. In the school system, lunch program, the breakfast program, a lot of these programs were started by the Black Panther Party. I'm the last of the original Mandinka warriors, the vanguards of the Black Panther Party. So what they did now, we already had a taste of that back during the 60s. We called it the Jim Crow law. Now we got the wannabe Antichrist Donald Trump, wannabe dictator in office. Mind you, his father was one of the mafias during the Prohibition days. That's how they got their riches from Prohibition, selling illegal alcohol and doing the number game. Check out the way he dressed. He dressed like a mafia. He never wanted to be told no. How can you have a person that never served in the military be an analysis from Fox News to be a head of the military? He have fired admirals, generals that know what they're doing. Now he's on the verge of attacking whatever country he want to attack and do whatever he want to do. He embarrassed us at the United Nations, coming back to talking about Rockford. 5 different times, dogs was more important than talking about Project 2025. Project 2025 came out in April of 2023. I've been talking about this for 2 years. By the way, I've been talking ever since Mark Anthony Baltimore got killed in 2009. I've been coming here to City Hall. It's supposed to be, the first 5 people that speak supposed to have a right to speak or talk about what's important. Every time I wanted to talk about Project 2025, and the mayor had blocked it during the general elections. He blocked it to talk about dogs. He blocked it to talk about foreigners. Where's the foreigners at that flooded this room? Get off that bouncer, girl. Where's the foreigners that was in here in October and November? You don't see them no more. What you do see is that those special interest groups, them the ones who he catered, not us.
Thank you. Time to get a new phone. Our second speaker tonight is James Haft.
Hello, I'm James Haft, and I'm a newly appointed member of the Historic Preservation Commission, and I'm here to kind of give my appreciation for the appointment to all the aldermen, alderwomen, the mayor, as well as City of Rockford staff for the gracious welcome I've received from everyone that I have met, and just give a little point of view of where I'm coming from and how I want to be able to contribute to this is I've spent the majority of my professional career in the private sector, and within the last 6 months I started working for the Rockford Park District, and with that I've met a lot of different passionate people that are able to really impact the community, and finding something to where I can be a part of the community and be involved with a lot of the different issues going on, make a positive impact. And I feel that the Historic Preservation Commission is another way to expand that and be able to have some input on the vibrancy of the city, as well as being able to talk about some of the issues that are here. So I'm also here to talk about the Elks Club as well. The Elks Club is a part of the local landmark designation, and there are 27 buildings involved in that in the Rockford area. But within the last 25 years, only 5 have been added to that area. So if this building is taken away, it is difficult to replace that. It's also in a very important corridor. If you happen to drive across the Jefferson Street Bridge, it's actually centered on that view corridor leading into that space, and making sure that the space is not vacant and a vibrant introduction to that area is extremely important, as well as it's connected to a lot of the other historic landmark areas in that spot. There are over 8 locations within a 6-block radius of that have a historic designation of some kind, whether that's local or national. There's a great circulation path going from the different theaters, as well as to our museum campuses, as well as a few homes in that area. So I guess I am excited to try and make some positive impact to make sure that this building has gone through the exhaustive process that it has, and I'm sure everyone is extremely exhausted, and I'm not jealous of the process that everyone has gone through with this, but if we can exhaust every single viable option to make sure that this building has no other options, I think that would be a great benefit to the city. So I appreciate your time, and thank you.
Thank you. Our third speaker is Denzel Winter.
Good afternoon, committee people. I've been reading my phone, and it's very, very saddening to know that we have a lot of our children, especially our black children, that are killed by police officers. And, I'm a grandparent, and I got about 20-something grandkids. And I love each and every one of them. But I would hate to have to come home to find out that one of my grandkids got killed. I was talking to one of the committee people. I want to find out, what do I have to do to get with the community so we can sit down and have a talk with our teenagers, our kids, because they don't know when things are happening that they have a right to sit down and be respected, just like adults have a right to be respected. And I'm here because I don't want to, it hasn't happened here, but things are happening out here, like the lady that was putting the boiling water off the stove onto the floor, and she gets shot in the face for no reason. And they know that guy did that on purpose. They know that. But every time you turn around, they want to try, when something happens to one of us, they want to placate it and say, oh, well, he felt like his life is in danger. Well, I feel like my life is in danger sometimes, too, when the police pull me over for no reason, especially after I done stopped at all the stoplights, all the stop signs, and I still get pulled over. And then he has the nerve to tell me that I pulled over to the wrong side. This is a one-way street. They got parking on either side. So either side I decide to park on, that should be okay. And one of the reasons I decided to park on the left side, that left him from going out, being on the street side, from getting hit. There's so many police officers getting killed because they're sitting out there like a big old target, and they get run into. But my main concern is the children of Rockford, because a lot of them, especially our teenagers, they don't know what to do when they're confronted with the police. Most of them will try to run. And a lot of times, it hasn't happened now, but a lot of times, if they can't catch you, they shoot you. And that's a shame, because the kid is scared. We have kids with mental problems. They don't know what's going on. If you have a child that has a medical problem where they don't like to be touched, they take that as aggressiveness.
Thank you. Next we have Prophet Youssef.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the book of John, the 14th chapter, the 12th verse, Jesus said, he that believe in the works I do, same works and greater works than these. He let you know you can do more works, better works than him. What I want to speak about tonight, opportunity to help others. I recently read the account of Dennis Costello, a project manager at Standards & Poor's, who wanted to be of some help at the site of the World Trade Center this as of September 11, 2001. Dennis recounts, my wife and I worked near the World Trade Center. I was in one of the towers when the first plane hit it, and I evacuated the building and went to my wife's building across the street, 3 World Financial Center. We were standing 1 block away from the World Trade Center when it collapsed. There was debris everywhere, and we went running north. As we ran, I was helping people who couldn't make it on their own. Finally, we reached safety at Chelsea Piers. Then I made a decision. I told my wife, I'm going back. Having gone back to help, he noticed there were no food provision for the rescue workers. He went to the local supermarket, bought sandwich supplies, and set up a makeshift center. When the Salvation Army arrived, they saw his efforts and stocked him up with food, cots, and bedding. When Dennis was asked why he had gotten involved, he replied, when I was a kid, my heroes was firemen. When I saw that I had the opportunity to help these firemen here, I saw it as the greatest honor I could have. It is an honor to be here. It's like finding a dream in the midst of a nightmare. Jesus said we would have opportunities to do greater works than he did. We never know when those opportunities will appear or how much they will require of us. We do know, however, that God blesses those who reach out like he did. Are your eyes open to the possibility that today might bring? Lord, I want to be open to the opportunities to help other people in life. Like you, I also want to thank God for all the firemen and fire ladies who done saved people's lives. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. And our final speaker this evening is Kenneth Dickens. Is Kenneth Dickens here? Apparently not, so we will move on to our agenda. Clerk, would you please call the roll? Here. Thank you. Our first item under committee reports is Linden Road, South Alpine Road. The Traffic Commission recommends approval to establish a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit on Linden Road from South Alpine Road east to the city limits, thus repealing the existing 45-mile-per-hour speed limit. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments on this item? I'm sorry, Alderman Bell.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Carter, are you able to kind of explain to us why this recommendation is before us today?
Sure. So PCI, who just built a couple of large shipping hubs over on Linden, had made this request. A little bit to the east of here, it is 30 miles an hour in the residential area, and they were just asking to kind of extend it in front of them. They have a large influx of trucks that are now using Linden, in addition to the residential apartments that are to the south, and they thought that it was a logical request, and so the Traffic Commission took a look at it and made the recommendation to lower it to 30.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, LePay Street, Roosevelt Road. Traffic Commission recommends approval to establish a no parking at any time restriction on the east side of LePay Street from Roosevelt Road to 200 feet north of Roosevelt Road. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3 is a no action item. The Traffic Commission recommends that no action be taken on the following item. A request to establish traffic control at the intersection of Roncesvalles Avenue and Buckingham Drive. Is there a motion to approve? I'm sorry, is there a second? I'm sorry. Okay. Are there any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is 1334 Holland Street. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a variation to reduce the minimum required rear yard setback from 30 feet to 11 feet in an R1 single-family residential zoning district at 1334 Holland Street. Donald Kelly is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on this item? Alderwoman Meeks.
Just curious, does this rear yard bump up to an alleyway?
I don't. Let me look at the picture here. I believe so, according to the map. I can get you verify it. It's a little small to see on here, but yeah.
Okay. Was that a?
Or Jake,
Was that a no? Yes.
Yes, Attorney Rubin.
Thank you. No, reviewing the map, it does not appear that this backs up to an alleyway. There's a large property to the east, directly to the east of it. It's a very long, narrow property, and I think the setback requirements would be difficult for anyone to build a house on, as is.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, 7131 East State Street. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a special use permit for a drive-through coffee restaurant in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 7131 East State Street. DLH Core Rockford, LLC is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, 211 Elm Street. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a special use permit for a mosaic mural in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 211 Elm Street. The City of Rockford and the Rockford Area Arts Council are the applicants. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on this item? Alderwoman Turina.
I think I have become Alderman Thunberg in that it may be taking it a step further. Yes, I'm lucky. There was no photograph of what the proposed art is going to be, and moving forward, I don't know that I want to start approving these anymore without seeing what the art is going to be. So, do we know if the art has been decided for this piece, or did I miss it? It's not in the packet, is it? Did I miss it?
No, you're correct. It was
Okay.
not included in the packet, and we'll take that note and make sure it's included in all future ones. This mural actually has already been installed, so I have actual pictures of the mural for you if you'd like to look, and we can make sure they are sent out.
It was already installed.
Director Saunders.
Yeah, thank you, Alderman Karina. Public Works Department was working with the Rockford Area Arts Council for some time. I think it even predates my joining the team here on placement of these pieces of art. They're not strictly a mural. There are 3 flat glass tile mosaic pieces. The artist has done a few pieces around town already, and this was part of Rockford Area Arts Council's SPARK. It's a mosaic youth summer arts program. They decided to focus on an Audubon theme, and they were focused on representation of birds that are threatened, native birds threatened by climate issues. And so they had proposed, we did some site selection. We had landed on the parking deck that's adjacent to the Burnham Lofts, so southwest corner of Wyman and State Street. And the Arts Council worked cooperatively with our traffic engineer to find the best location on it. We did everything right except get a special use permit. And when we realized that really should have been a required step in this, literally the installation was scheduled for the next day. So I didn't put a stop to it. We brought it through after the fact. They are up right now. There are 3 approximately 5 foot by 5 foot maybe glass tile mosaic birds mounted to the exterior wall of that parking deck. They're on the tall vertical surface that encloses the staircase on the deck, and they kind of stagger upwards as if kind of taking off in flight with their wings out.
Mm-hmm. And when does this get done, Mr. Sanders?
What's that?
When did this get done?
It's done. It happened
When
about
was
2
it
weeks
done?
ago.
3 weeks ago?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I apologize for not bringing it through in advance.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I feel like if anyone knows better, the Arts Council certainly does when it comes to these murals, but thank you for the explanation.
Alderman Bell.
Thank you. Yeah, so this mural, these 3 awesome birds are in the 13th Ward in the downtown area. on Wyman and Elm. Would encourage anyone who wants to come see the beautiful birds to come downtown and enjoy the businesses downtown and to maybe take some pictures of the mural. But do want to say thanks for bringing this to our attention that it wasn't done prior to getting it put up. Thanks.
Thank you, Alderman Bell. I would ask the question of staff. Not too long ago when we were debating a mural, I believe, in the 11th Ward, I mentioned that I saw a mural on the side of Rusty Taco in the 1st Ward, and I believe that Rusty Taco had to remove that mural. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It
was a condition of their certificate of occupancy that they had to remove it.
Correct, but they also put the mural up without approval, council approval.
Correct.
It was never applied for.
Correct.
So are we setting any kind of precedent when we make a private owner take a mural, paint over a mural, and we allow ourselves to keep it there? You know, this is slightly different because it's wall mounted and it's not painted, so it could be taken down, they could apply, and we could approve, and it would be put back up at additional expense. But
right. So I do think this was an oversight, just staff changing and an unfortunate, a really good program that we've supported in the past, right? This would not be one I'd want to necessarily handle in that way. I think one of the differences with Rusty Taco in that situation, and then the one that we were debating in the 11th Ward, is those were for-profit businesses that were trying to attract customers to their building. And we did want to make sure that we regulated in our commercial spaces how we're allowing that to happen. The mural we're talking tonight is art that represents a kid's project, a kid's passion, and that the Art Council helped sponsor and get to happen. And our Public Works team worked really well with them to get a good location for it. It's just unfortunate that we didn't do this one step in the right order.
And
different kind of project, though.
For clarification, we are the applicant because we own the parking deck, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, let's do a roll call vote on this one. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 7 is 4477 Linden Road, Unit D. Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a smoke shop in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 4477 Linden Road, Unit D. Ankit Patel, Buddy's Alpine LLC, doing business as Buddy Smoke, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? I'll second. Are there any questions or comments on this item? Alderwoman Tarina.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm concerned with this one because it is essentially a vape shop, and it's in pretty close proximity to Jefferson High School. What are the? I didn't see it in the report, but tell me if I looked over it, or just if you could just remind me, like what do we look at as a city? What does the ordinance state about the proximity to schools for places like this?
I'll maybe see if legal can answer that portion. Did you hear the question? I would say that this is an existing store, and this is one owner buying out his partner. And so
it's existing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's that convenience store.
Yes.
Okay, I was confused at that because I thought they were like adding another store to the shopping center, and I was like, we're having a smoke shop and a convenience store. Okay. So it's not really, it's just changing hands.
That's correct. This item and the next item are just purchases.
But are they adding?
No, nothing is changing with business plans. Nothing is changing with square footage or additional sales. It is just purely a change in ownership.
Okay. Thanks.
To To answer the question, though, about proximity to a school, I assume that that wasn't an issue here or wouldn't be in existence now?
I believe that to be the case. I don't have that number off the top of my head, and I can find that for you. I know with liquor, it's 100 feet, I believe, so I can look into that for you for tobacco.
Yeah, I would like to know the answer to that still. Huh. Okay, thanks. Oops.
Are there any other questions or comments on this item? Let's have a roll call vote on this one as well.
Bonnie?
Aye.
Serena?
Aye.
Francie? Bill? It's 4 ayes.
Motion carries. Item 8, also 4477 Linden Road, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of packaged liquor, class PKG, and the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a gas station and convenience store in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 4477 Linden Road. Ankit Patel, Avram Mobile, LLC, doing business as Mobile Gas Station, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, 5330 East State Street, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of packaged liquor, PKG, and the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a convenience store and gas station in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 5330 East State Street. MD Amanur Rashid Khan, U.S. Petro Incorporated, doing business as Luna Food Mart, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? I'll second. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, 3730 North Alpine Road, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of packaged liquor, class PKG, and the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a convenience store and gas station in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 3730 North Alpine Road. MD Amanur Rashid Khan, U.S. Petro Incorporated, doing business as Luna Food Mart, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 11, 4106 Harrison Avenue, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of packaged liquor, class PKG, and the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a convenience store and gas station in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 4106 Harrison Avenue. MD Amanur Rashid Khan, U.S. Petro Incorporated, doing business as Luna Food Mart, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on item 11? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, 6876 Spring Creek Road, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of liquor by the drink, class NGL, and the sale of packaged liquor, PKG, in conjunction with a restaurant and bar in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 6876 Spring Creek Road. Scott William Carlson, Brett Eugene Hayes, and Randall Raymond Baker, the Raven LLC, are the applicants. Is there a motion to approve? I'll second. Are there any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry. And under resolutions, item 1, request for approval of the 2026 City Council and Committee calendar. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on the city calendar? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Good evening. We're going to call to order the City of Rockford Planning and Development meeting for Monday, October 27th, 2025. Present are Alderman Hoffman, Salgado, and Meeks, and myself, Alderman Durkee. We have a quorum. We have one item, information only, and that is in presentation from the Rave Board.
Thank you, Alderman Durkee. My name is Craig Thomas. I am the chairman of the Rockford Area Venues and Entertainment Authority. And with me tonight is our general manager, Gretchen Gilmore. Before our presentation, I want to take this opportunity to thank you, all of you, and thank the city administration for the continued support of our partnership and the extension of our intergovernmental agreement. Recently, we are excited by the challenge ahead that we have as far as the capital needs of the facility, and we look forward to fulfilling that. And I want to thank, there's a lot of hard work put in by city staff, our aldermanic representatives, Frank Beach and Chad Thunberg, and Gretchen and her team. So it took a lot to get to where we are today, and we're excited to move forward. So thank you. And I'll let Gretchen's going to go through our report, and then we're both here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Craig. The timeline is just a repeat of some items that you've seen in the past. So as Craig noted, the city support, the renewal of our IGA is on here. We also did get a county commitment this past year that I wanted to highlight as well. And then our financial results are next. You will see that we had a surplus again this year. Although it wasn't as high as last year, we still had an amazing year. And just to remind everybody, when we have a surplus, that goes into our capital reserve. Here's the financial reporting we do on event income, which is our main source of revenue. You will see compared fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 25, you will see a large increase in event income for the Ice Hugs. Coronado, we also had an increase, and where we went down was the BMO Center. We did not have as many sellout entertainment shows this year. However, you will see since 2010, it was still an amazing year. Food and beverage sales, this is where we make most of our event income. Because of the lack of sold-out shows at the BMO, the event income did go down. However, still very good numbers here. We'll highlight the Coronado. We had over 93,000 attendees, which is 5,000 more than we had last year, and we had 5 more events. Although we had more attendance and more events, the average attendee per event did go down. Some of the sold-out shows are listed in the slideshow here. BMO Center, you will see the Ice Hogs and the non-Ice Hogs events. The red bars are for the Ice Hogs. You will see the increase, and then obviously the BMO Center did go down. Although we didn't have, the large sellout events, we did bring back Circus Soleil, which is a family event. Obviously, those per caps are a lot different than, a sold-out concert or comedy show. Just want to remind everyone that we do manage community assets for Rockford, and in fiscal year 24 alone, we hosted 39 community events and some private events. Coronado Theater, I do have a typo on here. I will point out the capital spend at the Coronado was actually $94,000. I highlighted one of the projects that we did was updating the marquee. You'll notice the message board in the before picture was kind of yellowish and had some like dark spots in it. We upgraded all the lighting in the marquee in the message board, and now it's a bright white and it really pops now. Just some operating expenses I listed here to operate the Coronado is listed on the left. The picture with the stars is actually a video I incorporated, but you guys did not get the video. It's a really nice video. Due to the competition, not just here in Rockford and this market, but also in the region, we've been looking at making investments on equipment that we can purchase that will reduce the cost of hosting events at our venues and to make it more attractive for promoters to come to our venues. So at the Coronado, we installed some intelligent lighting, 24 fixtures at the Coronado and 44 at the BMO. And then the new PA system at the Coronado, and I do want to thank everybody here for your support. We were able to get $125,000 towards that PA system, so thank you very much. I know many of you have heard it, and it is absolutely amazing. As you know, we did lose our Hard Rock partnership at the Coronado, which is a significant loss. So what we did was created a Club Coronado pre-event VIP experience. So now when you go to a Coronado event, you can buy an extra ticket to get some VIP treatment, and soon we will be rolling out some memberships with that. Capital projects is always a really big topic, and we've just listed some priorities at the top here. We do have some original equipment in the BMO, and thank you to all of your support. We are going to tackle several very large projects this coming year. One item on here, we moved up in our CIP program. You will see an announcement coming soon. Our board just approved a really cool dasher board system. And what the dasher boards are, when you come to the hockey game and you see the static signage around the ice rink, those are the dasher boards, and there's some new technology coming out, and we will be announcing that, so you'll see that just in time for the AHL All-Star Classic. So upcoming capital spend, we're on pace to spend close to $1.8 million for, almost $1.5 million for 25, and just some of the priorities up there. I did want to highlight where we get the capital funding. Obviously, City of Rockford is the main contributor, and our new IGA just goes through 2031, so I just included the numbers there, so you'll see the city funding and the county funding. This project was not in our CIP plan, and this is just half of the project. City of Rockford, again, was the largest supporter with ARPA funds, so again, thank you very much for this. You will see how beautiful two sides of the BMO look. Along Main Street and Chestnut Street, we redid the elevated concourse on those sides and replaced some knee walls and some windows. That was just half of the project, so we are still fundraising for the other half of the project. Just to show some pictures and remind everyone how it does look on Elm Street and Church Street. Again, thanks to the city, with the help from Senator Sodelman contributing to Phase 2. We still have a little ways to go, and hopefully we will get there soon. And just to remind everybody, when we do all of these capital projects and we're updating all of these things in the BMO, it helps attract national events like we're going to host here in February. So I do invite everyone to come out February 10th and 11th. This is a nationally recognized event that hasn't been in the Midwest in 25 years. So it's a multi-day event, and representatives from all teams in the American Hockey League will be here, and it will be nationally televised. So it's very important what we're doing at the BMO and at the Coronado. So thank you.
I'd just like to highlight a couple of matters. One is, as expected, with the opening of the Hard Rock venue, we faced headwinds this past fiscal year, and it was a challenge. There were a number of shows that we lost that ended up over there, and it continues to challenge our budget this year, but our team's getting creative on how to approach that. On the positive side, thanks in large part to the support of the city. Our partnership with the Blackhawks is as strong as it's ever been. It's been critical to them that they see community support for what they're doing, and that they see the city's support for the venue. And they were very, very pleased to see the level of support that the city continues to have. And it was based upon the strength of that partnership that we were able to get this AHL All-Star game. And this is a significant feather in the cap of our community here. And this will be a driver of significant economic activity. So we're encouraging all the communities and the local businesses to take advantage of this opportunity to showcase what we have here, and to take advantage of all these people who will be staying in the town, staying in the city of Rockford for this event. So Gretchen and her team did a wonderful job putting the package together to get the bid accepted by the AHL, and we're excited to have that happen. So thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Are there any questions? Alderman Meeks.
Guys do at the Coronado. I just have a few questions to kind of understand. When it comes to the BMO Center, who owns the BMO Center?
That's owned by the Metro Center Authority. That's our organization.
The Rave Board then owns it? Okay. And then is that for the city? The city owns the Coronado?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. And then Davis Park?
City
owns those. Okay. And so with the investment that's gone into the BMO, is there kind of an idea? I'm just trying to get an idea of this kind of return on the investment that we're making. It's a significant investment, and I think that the investment is important to the community because we need this space. But I just kind of want to get a clear understanding of, for the dollars that we spend as a city, what is that return to the city, if any?
Let me take kind of the first part of that, and then maybe Gretchen can supplement. So the BMO Center, we've recently renovated in excess of $20 million there, and most of that money came from the state. Significant portion of that money came from RAVE, from the sale of the Ice Hogs affiliate to the Blackhawks. The city's support has been there since the arena was first opened. And if you'll recall, at the time the state provided the funds for the arena, they required that the redevelopment fund be established to provide operational support for the ongoing needs of the arena. And for a number of decades, that's all it was available to do, was to support, to keep the doors open there. Thankfully, over the last decade plus, we are now in a position where the city's support that comes from the redevelopment fund is committed to maintaining the facility to the capital needs, not to the operations any longer as it had been done for decades. So the return on investment is dramatically better today than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, because the funds are being solely used to maintain that facility and to keep it as a Class A facility. So these events like the AHL All-Star Game and other recent national events we have there can come into the facility.
And we consider ourselves an economic driver for all the downtown businesses and businesses around Rockford. Traditionally, arenas in many cities are operating at a deficit, so we're very lucky to have a surplus. So, you know, we have hundreds of jobs that we're providing, and the economics for Rockford and the surrounding community.
It's been a few years, but there was an economic activity study done that we'd be happy to share with you that we did when we got the funds from the state. We had to show the amount of economic activity and what it provided to the city of Rockford. We'd be happy to share that report with you if you'd like.
Would you say that the ones that are operating at a deficit get the same type of investment that the city offers to the BMO?
I don't have that information.
Okay, so can you answer the question for the ROI? Just kind of give me an idea. I understand what you said and the importance of why we invest this funding. I get
Yeah, I can share the report with you that would show the return on the investment that we had to establish for the state for them to commit the funds to the facility when it was renovated.
That would be great. And then is there, would you consider the Rave Board and this organization something that is self-sustainable or will become self-sustainable without any funding from the city? Is that something that could become a thing, or should we just expect to utilize these redevelopment funds forevermore for this?
Ideally, we would love to get to that point, but I think in the wisdom of the establishment of the redevelopment fund, there was a recognition that facilities like this are community assets, and they're rarely self-sustaining. They need continued support from the state as well as the city and other municipal partners. 15 years ago, the city collectively was supporting the Coronado and the BMO in excess of $2 million annually. And none of that money was going to a capital plan to maintain the facilities. We're now at a point where that support now is less than $1 million, and all of it is committed to the capital. We'd love to get to the point where we can make enough money off of these venues so that we would be able to support our own capital. I'll tell you, I don't think that's practical to have that happen. These arenas, as we look at them as our competitors in other communities, they're community assets and they're investments as drivers of economic activity, and they're never really self-sustaining in that fashion.
Can I ask one last question, please? Thank you so much. I just want to focus in on the community and private events. I want to thank you. This has been just one of those places that I really enjoy being able to step into, the Coronado Theater in particular. For those kinds of spaces, is there a specific fee that you charge for those kinds of community events, in particular like nonprofit organizations, places that don't have a lot of funding but need that space and then can utilize their, ability to market and things of that nature. Is there a fee tied to the nonprofits that have utilized the community space, and has that reduced with the addition of the sound system that was?
There is a nonprofit rate, and yes, the fees have been reduced with the new PA system.
So what were the fees before, and then what are the fees now?
I can email those to you.
All righty. Thank you so much.
We've also established a fund for first-time nonprofits where we can underwrite some of the expenses. We've established that, and we've actually awarded some of those this past year.
We're actually bringing to the board on Wednesday for approval to extend our community grant program. So that's $10,000 a year, and community organizers can apply to get a grant out of those funds, and that will help offset rental costs at our venues. I will provide that as well.
Alderman Torino.
Thank you. You were speaking with regards to just the hardships that you've experienced due to the competition with Hard Rock, but you also said that the team is starting to get creative. Are you able to share anything that you're doing creative?
Yeah, so we've incorporated a lot of different programming, so you'll see a lot of more public speaking or like movies, so not just focusing on the music anymore, because we're not getting those sellout concerts anymore. So just diversifying the programming that we're having, and then obviously the Club Coronado.
The Club Coronado is significant. We tried the Spirits and Spirits event, which was a creative event. So we're looking for alternatives. We were just talking with Doug last week, our programming director, about some opportunities perhaps for like an up-and-coming artist concept that might build some momentum here.
Mm-hmm. What is Club Coronado?
Sure. So that's a premium experience. So you get 30-minute early entry. You get food and a specialty cocktail and a bartender.
So the Club Coronado is the manager's apartment at the Coronado Theater, okay. And before they pulled their partnership, the Hard Rock had used that as a pre-event space for their guests.
Okay. You used the term diversifying, so I'll kind of go in that lane. And this is more of a comment. I know that in the past, you've heard it a million times about just diversifying the entertainment, and we're seeing a lot of that entertainment now going to the Hard Rock. But I know in a lot of instances where you guys' hands were tied was not having like sort of a fund to tap into, like, for lack of a better term, like a slush fund, for example, to be able to use to get to entice or even to book some of these gigs. So I want to go on the record as making a suggestion to utilize some of the cultural district funds. I think that would actually be a great use. A portion of those funds to be used specifically for cultural entertainment at the BMO Center, Davis Park, Coronado. I think that'd be actually a great use of that money, so that we're able to bring some different types of entertainment and sort of kind of help the situation out a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Prunty.
First, I want to thank the team for your continued success. I do have a few questions. I've been thinking about this for a few days. I've had the opportunity to attend two recent shows, and both were absolutely outstanding. The performances were professional, uplifting, and engaging, and I was impressed by the quality of the shows and the positive atmosphere taking place there. The only challenge that I noticed was during the comedy show, the entry line moved slowly in the process because of the process of securing phones before the event. This is understandable. I think the comedian even addressed it when we got in there, but it did create a bit of a delay. A few years ago, I think I suggested something to the extent of perhaps figuring out a way to bring back graduations to the downtown area, and since then, those ceremonies have returned, and I believe it has been, overall a great success. Now that we've seen a few years into this partnership, I just have a few questions. Operations-wise, what are the pros and cons that you've observed since the return of the graduations?
We love it. I mean, it's really exciting to see all of the graduates come. We really enjoy hosting these events. This past year, there were some challenges where we had to have additional police officers involved. And I can guarantee that we've already had these conversations for planning for next year. Rockford Public Schools is a great partner to work with, and every year we have a wrap-up meeting afterwards, and we talk about how we can make the events even better the next year.
Thank you. And then, as it relates to community feedback, what kind of feedback have you received from some of those private entities, including schools and maybe even families and the general public, about holding graduation downtown?
They love it. The pictures speak for themselves. At the BMO, everyone can invite their whole entire family now. The schools love having everything in one spot. It's very easy to organize there. The families love it. The students love it.
I know I happened to be downtown during one of those. I think maybe it was tax time or something like that, and it was difficult to get around. So what about your neighbors? How are your neighbors feeling about what's going on? Or do you even hear from your neighbors?
Not specifically on that event. I will tell you that every other week we do talk with ABM, the parking manager. We have city police in the meeting. So we're coordinating all of the logistics before every event. So if there's any way that we can improve, we discuss it and we make adjustments.
And part of your discussion with during your debriefing with police and the school district, did you all have you all made any decisions as it relates to stacking the graduations the way that
they will not be in the evening? I will tell you that.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And then, as far as accessibility and inclusion, how are we working in all of the facilities? How are we working to improve accessibility, not only for individuals with mobility challenges, but also guests with other disabilities and different needs? How are we ensuring that everyone in our community has the opportunity to experience arts, culture, and entertainment fully and comfortably and with dignity?
It hasn't been announced, but we do have some sensory bags now that we have at both venues. We do have the ADA entry points, and then we also have some listening devices that people can check out too if they have some impairment with their hearing.
How is that? First of all, what is a sensory bag, and then how are you marketing that?
So we just got them. It's actually through the Ice Hogs. They got a sponsorship with, I think it's a children's therapy group, and we got 10 bags. It's very recent, so we have not put it out there yet because we were waiting for the cleaning solution, but we do have those, and we'll get the message out for that.
And I still don't.
Oh, what's in it? Sorry. So there's like there's some headphones, but then there's like some fidget stuff. Oh, okay. So like if you have anxiety or anything.
Okay. Well, I'll just end there. Thank you for your leadership and for maintaining high-quality events that enrich our community and for keeping Rockford's entertainment and cultural spaces accessible, safe, and welcoming for everyone.
Thank you.
Alderman Beach, and then Alderman Frost.
Chairman. So I've had the privilege of serving on this board as a liaison along with Alderman Thunberg for a number of years, and I've actually seen it get to the point where it might have been more efficient to take it dark and put it out of its existence, but yet to see the vision and the determination on behalf of the city councils through the years to where we see it now. There's one thing I didn't hear mentioned this evening, and I think it's worth mentioning, is that the number of guests coming from outside of Rockford into Rockford to use our facilities. And I want to be careful that I don't use the wrong number, but I think I remember something like 40% of the tickets sold, especially in the Coronado area and so forth, are coming from outside of Rockford, around the Chicago area, coming here to see our shows, to go to dinner, some to stay overnight. I don't know what that number translates into dollars, but I think that's a tremendous benefit that what we are presenting to the people are offering. And I want to thank you personally, Gretchen, and Greg now as you, our chairman, for the efforts and the creativity that's going on to make this thing work. And I'm really just proud of what's happening here, because this didn't always be this way. And right now it's on a roll, and I think we should be really proud of that. I appreciate the questions that are being asked, good questions, but I say we're on the front of something yet to happen. I think it's a great thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alderman Frost.
Thank you. I also just wanted to congratulate the organization because it is a community asset. This is not something, otherwise we would see private businesses opening up facilities like this around the state and around the country, and it's very difficult to look at it just from a profit loss perspective all the time. So thank you for pivoting. You know, you've had some issues with in the last couple of years, but throughout over time, having the ability to not rely on taxpayer dollars for your operational standpoint and use the redevelopment fund strictly for the capital structure of the building, which is I guess publicly owned. So I do appreciate you continuing to pivot, to be creative, to when it comes to the numbers, do so much better. And with getting to those numbers, it's because of your hard work on the creativeness and bringing the shows here, inking the new deal with the Blackhawks. So hats off. The only thing I had a question about was on one of the slides, I think, Gretchen, you mentioned that it says concessions and catering event profit. Is that sales? Because it says about $2.6 million. That fair to say that that'd be one of your largest revenue items? I take it would be the concession and sales, correct?
That's where we make most of our money.
Yes.
In our business, the ticket sales go back to the promoter and the artist.
Okay. And I don't know if you notice or keep track of your board members, but I have been to a few Ice Hog games, and once he actually asked me to go to Disney on Ice, and the revenue that's consumed on your food and beverage, again, it really has grown dramatically, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any further questions? Alderman Prunty.
Thank you. 6 and 8, 9, 10. Thank you to the alderman from the 10th Ward for reminding me. I appreciate it. While I was attending an event, I had to park a distance away, and one of the things that I noticed is that once I got back to the hotel, that there were people coming from the Coronado and utilizing the hotel. So I think that you're right. It does attract people who are coming in from out of town and using our other facilities, including our bars and restaurants, as well as our hotel. One thing that I was just going to pass on this, but maybe now it's time to ask. And maybe you've answered it, but if you could expound upon it or repeat it, what needs do you foresee on the horizon to sustain this momentum, whether it be operational, structural, or financial? But is there anything that you are going to be needing or asking of us?
At this point, the support that you've shown with our new IGA, we're comfortable that we're prepared to meet the challenges, and we'll just continue to get creative. And I just want to follow up on that staying at the hotel. We forgot to mention our Ice Hogs partners have told us that the visiting teams love the Embassy Suites. And so most of them are utilizing the Embassy Suites to stay when they come in for a game if they're going to stay overnight.
The show that you attended, I believe it was it Ali Sadiq Friday night? It was a Yonder show, and a lot of times comedians want your cell phones in a locked pack, like a little package, and you can't use your cell phone during these. So yeah, it definitely holds up the lines. And I don't have the statistics yet, but most of the attendees were from outside of Rockford.
Wonderful event.
Alderman Hoffman.
Thank you. Piggybacking on what two other aldermen said, I was shocked to find out we have Airbnbs that are kind of tied into the Ice Hogs, and one of them's in my neighborhood.
Nice.
I mean, they
didn't
really make a
that.
big,
That's great.
not just off to the hotel and have a few drinks, they party. in my
Hockey
neighborhood.
players.
I don't know anything about that.
Alderman Thunberg.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. Craig, I've given accolades to you in the past, and I want to thank you for your until Alderman Body is playing cartoons over there, sorry.
Appreciate that.
But you have done just a terrific job as chairman of the RAVE board, and have really set a precedence for any future RAVE board chairman. So thank you for all you've done. Gretchen, you and Doug have done a terrific job through ASM, and I look forward to many good years to come. Alderwoman Tarina brought up a good point with the cultural funds, and I know that for those out there that may not know, we did as a council approve the sound system using for that money, that $125,000 that did come out of the cultural fund at that time. And so I would look forward to further conversations on the possible utilization of those funds in the future. Some of the things too, as Alderman Beach and I sit on RAVE board, we have for many years. Some of those other things that we look at for revenue is, we talked about Club Coronado. Have heard fantastic feedback on Club Coronado. Another thing we didn't mention at this time was the block parties. Hosting those block parties outside the Coronado before some of these events. Again, great feedback on that, and a revenue generator with our concessions. It was, again, an honor to be on the board during some rather tumultuous times, but as a board working through that, maybe not as fun now as it was when Sunil Puri and Mike Dunn Sr. were on there. That created a very lively atmosphere. But I want to bring attention to the fan experience, which really wasn't brought up. We look at the BMO Center as being ranked as ASM Global, who manages the Coronado and the BMO is ranked 14th out of 60 ASM Global Arenas in the country. The Coronado is ranked 8th out of 55 theaters that they manage around the country. Overall experience is almost 80%. From fan experience at the BMO, it's almost 90% at the Coronado. And for safety, staff, and cleanliness at the BMO, the satisfaction ratings by attendees was sitting around 90%, and the Coronado actually 90, 92, and 96 for safety, staff, and cleanliness experience. Those are terrific. When you're sitting around essentially 9 out of 10 people or even more, with that feedback, says something about how it's being managed. And so that's terrific. The one thing we do see, the parking ratings still well above the 50th percentile, but within that 50% range at 66%, Coronado Theater at almost 80. I know that we have had and we will continue to have discussions with between RAVE and the city and trying to manage that better and those expectations. So that's one of the things that I know we're working on with that. Food and beverage, we are doing a terrific job with that. I guess RAVE and ASM is, I should say, doing a terrific job on that. Still looks for room for improvement. I would say Alderman Frost has been asking for a buffet of any sort, so maybe that could...
We do have a buffet in the club lounge.
Yeah, you got to pay to be in the club.
Well, that's exactly it. He's looking not for the big payment to get into the club lounge, for the buffet. So maybe there could be talks on that going forward for my alderman's sake. So, keep up the great work. Thank you. It's an honor to be on the board, and I say that on behalf of Alderman Beach as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Bell.
Thanks, Mayor, for allowing us to be on that.
Thank you, Chairman, for allowing me to speak on your committee. Just really quick, I know, well, first let me start off by saying thank you for this presentation and all of your continued work in the 13th Ward and across and through the downtown area. This question is for Director Haggerty. Sorry to jump over you guys here, but it was just made mention of the $125,000 investment. Can you clarify what pot of money that came from for us, please?
Yes. So the $125,000 that was approved for the sound system came from a specific amount designated for arts and culture within our casino fund allocation. I believe the cultural district that was mentioned is a newly designated at the state level cultural district that is separate from the casino funds that council programmed specifically in that policy for arts and culture. So there are two separate concepts we're talking about.
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify. Alderwoman Tarina and I have had conversations about that, and I fully support her comments today as it relates to potentially investing into diversifying acts at Davis Park, Coronado, and BMO. So just wanted to clarify where that money came from. Thank you.
Alderman Tarina?
Sure, why not? Just a suggestion. I do recall being at Iron Man, which was just a phenomenal experience for everyone, from residents to our guests. And when I was walking through that corridor on the main street side of your building and that open deck, I was like, oh man, that would be so cool if they would have had a VIP deck up there and a DJ. It was like,
I like how you're thinking.
You guys had prime real estate looking down, and there was just nothing going on over there. So I just thought that'd be like
creative ideas we want.
Yeah.
I just thought that would be.
I love it.
Really good for you guys to do something with or consider. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you for coming. Thank you for all the
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for all the good work that you do, and it's appreciated. The city of Rockford, downtown, it's great to see. It's a little slow, faster. I mean, slower than I hoped, but it's coming together. Downtown's important. It's where the city meets itself. So, great job. Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? We're adjourned.
I'm going to stand up. This chair is a little high for me. All right. I'm going to call to order the meeting for the Legislative and Lobbying Committee. Could we have a roll call? Here. All right. Well, thank you so much. We have, I know it's so tall. We have one item. It's a resolution opposing the federal truck size or weight increases. And we're asking the Rockford City Council federal representatives in Washington, D.C. to oppose increases in truck size or weight at the federal and state levels and encouraging our elected delegations to oppose related legislation. Can I get a motion? Second. Okay. We moved to second. Is there any discussion? Yeah, Alderwoman Meeks.
I want to kind of get an understanding of kind of why this is before us, how it became a thing. I'm just a little curious. There's so many topics that we could be bringing up to the federal government, and this is interesting, to say the least. Where did it come from? Why are we
Presenting this to the Legislative and Lobbying Committee that we pay $100,000 a year for?
All right, so I think the mayor would like to address that.
Sure, happy to. So this did not come through our lobbyist that I think you're referring to. This came through individuals and organizations reaching out directly to me. There are about 2,200 municipalities throughout the country who oppose the larger trucks and the heavier trucks. The Illinois Municipal League has historically opposed it as well. There was, back in 2016, really pretty alarming study done about the impact to lives on our roads if we were to move to larger trucks as well as heavier trucks for dramatic increase in fatalities. It also was a more recent study done about what it would do to the damage of our local roads and bridges. There was also a lot of concern, especially from small trucking companies, specifically some smaller women and minority-owned trucking companies, that if this were to pass, they would then have to, if they were able to, purchase new equipment because they would not be able to be using their existing equipment. So from a standpoint, honestly, I get asked by a lot of different groups, and this one kind of struck me from hurting small businesses to hurting our local infrastructure to putting lives on the line due to accidents. not saying this is more important or less important at all. This just happened to come up, and many of which the items that do come up we can fit within our already outlined agenda that council approves. This one just didn't fall in that bucket, and I didn't want to do anything without your guys' permission.
Okay, so I just want to, so based on what we talked about initially when we approved our lobbyists, those were the priority items. This didn't fit into that priority, correct?
And
Presenting it to council now.
I didn't feel like it even fit within many of the priorities that we had discussed. Not that livelihood on roads, small businesses, and all of that isn't a priority for all of you. I just, we're not going to have our lobbyists spend any time. They're asking mayors throughout the country to pass resolutions at councils just so that they can use this resolution. He has done no prep for this. I don't expect him to do absolutely any work on this at all.
I think that's what I was looking to hear. Thank you so much.
Is there any other discussion? Did you want to add anything to it? Okay. All right. Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting? Second. Okay, it's been moved and second. Discussion? Okay, hearing. Oh, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Meeting adjourned. I like that.
Welcome to the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting held tonight, Monday, October 27th. Sir Clerk, will you please take roll? Here. Thank you. All right, the first item on the agenda is a financial discussion for September 2025.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Haggerty.
Yes, thank you. We are seeing the same trends that we've seen throughout the year continue through September on the revenue side. In the general fund, our most notably use tax under budget by about 55% and replacement tax at about 41%. As you recall from our budget presentation last week, both of those revenue sources are decreased significantly in the 2026 budget. On the whole, we're looking at about a $2.25 million underperformance in revenues in the general fund year to date. It's about 1.3% on the whole. On the expense side, we're making up for that shortfall, currently about 6.8% under budget on expenditures year to date, $11.6 million. We do know that the last couple months of the year can be sometimes the most unpredictable with weather-related expenses, so still too early to call where the year is going to land. I'll note, too, if you look back up at the revenue numbers, we're only showing 7 of 12 payments for sales tax. We still have 5 months of revenue to collect. So we do still have a lot of time before we can say with some certainty how the fiscal year is going to end. On the CAP side, CAP sales tax is performing very well, $1.5 million over budget, or about 12%. MFT is just about on budget. And in the redevelopment fund, we have a total of about 8% over budget, or $488,000. As we mentioned last week as well, and this is calendar year numbers, the casino tax currently about 9% under budget, under that $7 million target for the year, so about $400,000. And I'm happy to answer any specific questions.
Any questions on the September discussion? All right, thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, moving on, another information-only item is the 2026 budget discussion.
So to follow up on some of the specific questions that were raised during last week's presentation, we had several property tax related questions. How much revenue would be generated if we only increased the levy by the amount of new growth, that is annexations or new construction that happened during 2024. That new growth number for the EAV that we're using for the 2025 levy is about $19.5 million. That translates to an additional $327,000 in property tax revenue based on the current estimated property tax rate. The question was raised about the last property tax increase. That was with the 2012 levy, which increased about $1.9 million for the city-only portion of the levy. That does not include the library. If we were to increase the levy, what would that impact be for an individual? We used the home value of $170,000, which is the current median home value for Rockford. A home at that value whose value increased to the 10.94% that we saw as an increase citywide, that bill would increase approximately $33. And that's an annual number. And that is if we were to take the full increase allowed under tax caps laws. There's a general fund projection included here. As you can see, we're projecting approximately 1.6 million shortfall in 2027, and that climbs to just under $11 million by 2031. I do want to point out that this is an educated guess based on the information we have today about what those years will look like. I also want to point out that actions that we take this year to balance the budget will impact future years. We have had, as those of you who have been on council for some time, we've presented a lot of very dire budget projections over 5-year periods that did not come to fruition because things change considerably. Because we make decisions that impact future financial, that have a future financial impact, and that every year we have to balance. So those decisions that we make to balance in 2026 will carry forward. The same thing with all of the years listed in this projection. So while it's certainly something that we should take seriously, I don't think it's something that we need to be overly fearful of because, again, we don't even know where 2025 is going to end yet. Very difficult for us to say with certainty what's going to happen in 2031. And then just as a reference, I attached the cannabis sales tax policy that was approved in 2020 to the memo that's posted with the agenda materials for your reference. And I'm happy to answer any other questions about the budget.
Alderman Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Carrie, for that report. I don't think we need to be fearful of this, and I really am a believer in that 5-year forecast.
Certainly.
Because when we have time to think about it, to make changes, I think that takes away the fear, rather than all of a sudden have it pop to us.
Yes.
That we have to do something quickly. So I compliment you for getting those numbers to us, but I do think a 5-year forecast is really important for us to look at. Even though we're going to change it, even though it's going to be flexible up and down, it's good to take a look at the numbers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Alderman Meeks.
Thank you so much. So when I see kind of at this point line items that haven't even reached kind of like that 50% mark, that 75% mark. They budgeted for a certain amount and they've only spent a certain amount. I can assume there's probably going to spend some more, but when it's a pretty significant amount, I'm wondering how that all kind of balances out at the end, because my question is like, for what is being budgeted, is there kind of like actual numbers that I could know, like over the last 5 years? These were the actual numbers that came through for that line item.
Certainly. Yeah, the budget's a plan, right? And sometimes we have to adjust in the middle of the year. Sometimes a project or something that was intended to happen doesn't happen. I also, we have, there's a delay in how information gets into our financial system as well, right? So if I incurred a cost today, because of invoicing delays, it's 2 months before that hits our books, before a payment is made. So there is a delay in what's reflected in the financial report. There are expenses that we've incurred that just haven't been paid yet. So for sure, a line that might be considerably under budget year to date, there's a chance that will be caught up by the end of the year, which is why, we give until March really to get our bills paid from the previous fiscal year, because it takes time sometimes for all of that information to come in. Also makes it very difficult for me to say now where the fiscal year is going to land, right? But we can absolutely provide historical information about where spend lands. And I will tell you that in the 2026 budget, we don't just take what was there last year and add to it, right? We ask the departments to submit what we would consider to be a status quo budget. That doesn't mean that the dollars that were budgeted last year are automatically yours again. That means tell us what it's going to cost next year to do what you're doing today. So, the departments review historical spend, they review where they've been, they make a request, and then finance department staff, Ann's team, and myself this year, we went through, those budget requests line by line to say, what did they spend last year? What are they on track to spend this year? Does this budget request make sense based on what we've seen historically? Or, information that we know, is this too low? Should you have requested an increase here? And you did not, right? So we had those conversations with all of the department heads to make sure that the 2026 budget that was presented is based on sound historical information, as well as information that the department heads can bring to the table as in conjunction with finance staff about where expenses are going to be in 2026. So we don't just say, you had 100,000 last year, you get 100,000 plus 2% this year. We say you had 100, did you spend 100? If you spent 50, then maybe 50 is all you need. Let's have a conversation about that. So that exercise has already been conducted. We went through all of those budget requests and had those conversations. And so I would say that I think what you're looking at is a reflection of where we think the actual expense will be based on the information we have today. But I'm more than happy to provide that historical actual to you. We have all of that information in our financial system.
And I'll get with you on the specific line items
Sure.
that I'm speaking of.
Sure.
Because I would love to see kind of how that all plays out. And I appreciate you very much. And she sat and talked to me prior because I was trying to wrap my mind around the microcomputer and the building rental.
Oh, sure.
And all of those things that, are a large expense.
Absolutely.
And I don't quite understand how it all kind of works its way out,
Okay.
So I appreciate you sitting with me and kind of talking through. So I will need a little bit more help with understanding that part of
Absolutely.
it. What are professional fees?
That can vary based on the department. A professional fee in the finance department could be actuarial services. It could be in another department, it could be some other outside professional services that we engage because we don't have the expertise internally. But if there's a specific department that you'd like us to look at what's coming out of that line, we can do that.
And then what about the computer non-capital? What is that typically?
Yeah, that would be computer equipment that doesn't meet our capital expense threshold. So a laptop, right, a mouse, those sorts of things would be considered computer non-capital expense.
And are these replaced?
Yeah, we have a replacement schedule. For many years, it was left to the departments to budget. We have transitioned that now to a centralized purchasing program through the IT department, where they're ensuring that we have consistent replacement, that the equipment that we're using is safe and secure and can be supported. So we have, depending on the use and the type of equipment, a 3 to 5 year replacement cycle for all of our computer equipment.
So I appreciate you so much. I will get over the individual line items that I've worked through so far.
Sure.
So much to go through. So I do not envy you all for the work that you have to do, but I do appreciate you for all that you do.
Thank you.
I believe, I don't have any documents in front of me, but in the budget packets that you always put together, it would show like the budgeted numbers for 2026, then you have year-to-date actual, and then you do go back historically and look at previous years. So maybe if you look in the budget itself, you can go back and see actually historical numbers for probably 2 years.
Yes, we do include historical numbers as well as prior year budgets in the budget document itself posted online. But if there's a specific department or line that you want to see a longer picture on, we can pull that information.
And I just want to comment because I thought I was tech savvy. Maybe I'm not tech savvy. I don't have the easiest time viewing information on since 2022 on the budget because of the digital changes that were made. I kind of preferred the PDF opportunity to look through things. So, I think for me, maybe it would be helpful if I could also get those PDFs.
Sure.
The last few years.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Will do.
Any further questions? Alderman Salgado.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to speak in your committee. I have 3 questions. The first one, I'll go with the cannabis policy. So the question I have is, have we used any of that funding for any initiatives that City Council has moved forward? And can you give an example on that? And then the second part of that question would be, would we have to update the current policy in order to use the $2.6 million of recommendation that the team is looking to use those funds?
Yes and yes. So City Council has approved expenditure of cannabis sales tax for a variety of purposes. The primary 2 were 2 rounds of what we called Regrow, a grant program to community groups. I believe the first round was a total of $360,000. We did a second round in earlier this year, 2025. It's not 2026 yet. That was in total $500,000. In addition, earlier this year, there was $250,000 allocated to the Health and Human Services Department from Regrow funds, and we funded a focused deterrence program with the county for a total of $400,000.
All right. So my second question that goes along with that is, what's the timeline that we're looking to essentially pass the budget that we're seeking? So from that perspective, if we were to change the policy for the 2.6, when would that have to go through City Council to get that approved based on our timeline for the final budget proposal that for 2026?
Certainly. So by law, we do not have to approve an appropriation ordinance until March 31st of 2026. I would not recommend waiting until March 31st because your 25% of your fiscal year is over with already by the time you have a budget. Our target is to have it approved before Thanksgiving or by Thanksgiving. Certainly that's subject to council's desire and discussion around the item. We would, if council is in agreement on changing the cannabis policy, we would likely want to get that presented before the end of the year. Though, because it is an internal policy, I think we could, even if that carried into January, council could just make the policy change retroactive to January 1st.
And as a follow-up for the timeline, when would you say if, like, for example, City Council and the finance committee wanted to make proposals on the changes to the budget, when would that be the sufficient time in order for us to pass those proposals based on the budget?
So the budget will be referred on next week, Monday, and up for initial consideration or first consideration at committee on the 10th. So if you have proposals for amendments to what's been presented, I think the 10th would be ideal, so we can discuss those as part of that initial conversation.
Perfect, thank you.
Certainly.
My final question that I have is, what is our minimum reserves that, if we have the policy, and then to that, I'd like to see if there's a way that you could, based on what you submitted on item number 4, the general fund projections, if you could put what that minimum reserve would be.
Oh, certainly.
As part of that, because that kind of gives us a sense and idea. Are we at that level? Do we have that buffer room from that perspective? So would like to see that and just, from that perspective.
Yeah, and I will tell you that based on the budget that's proposed and our current fund balance, and that doesn't include any additions or subtractions from fund balance from 2025, but based on what we currently have, our fund balance requirement is 20% of operating, not capital. Capital is excluded. That fund balance requirement, based on the 2026 proposed budget, is $43.8 million approximately. So we're currently approximately $2.7 million over that number based on what we have on hand. Because it is a challenge, obviously that fund balance requirement grows every year as our operating budget grows. So I think it's prudent to leave that $2.7 million in the general fund to help continue to meet that fund balance requirement in future budget years.
All right, thank you very much.
Certainly.
All right, seeing no more questions on this, we'll move on to item C, which is another information-only item. It's for the allocation of ARPA funds for the network infrastructure equipment. Who's commenting on that? Anybody? Mr. Hughes, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman. This is basically a follow-up. On October 6th, City Council approved an agreement to engage with Entree Computer Solutions for the purchase of network infrastructure equipment and the estimated cost of $350,000. After that approval, we went back and it made sense to allocate the remaining funds of the ARPA funds that were allocated to the IT department, and just wanted to bring that back to City Council and full disclosure, let everybody know that we were going to use those funds.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions on that? I'm sorry?
We missed the last few words of his. We missed the last few words of his Director Hughes's presentation.
We just wanted to come back to City Council and make everybody aware that we were purchasing and utilizing some of the ARPA funds that we had available. I'm not, yeah, it's.
That's all you said? Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Item D is information only as well. It's a notice of emergency repair to 20th Street box culvert to DBI Construction in the amount of $84,596.55. The funding source is the CIP General Fund. Anyone have a question on that? All right. Item E is information only change order. The City Yards demolition phase 2 to N-Track. The original contract was approximately $233,000. There's a change order for $41,355, and it includes added length of fencing and gate installation once the demolition was complete to adequately secure our City Yard site. Anyone have a question on that? Alderman Beatty, you have a question on that? All right. Thank you, Mr. Massey. All right, moving on to committee reports. Item A is approval of vouchers in the amount of $10,088,279.10. Is there a motion to approve vouchers? Any questions or comments on vouchers? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item A is the award of bid for City Yard fence installation. The classic fence in the amount of $29,202. It's a one-time purchase. The funding source are ARPA funds. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments? Alderman Toomberg.
Thanks, Chairman. I saw in the bids on this that obviously we're going to award the lowest bid, which is stated right here. Just to let those other individuals who may not have seen this, that there was a bid going all the way up to, I believe, about around in the vicinity of $125,000. So that just, I think, goes back to conversation we're having about a close to $600,000 railing. So hopefully that, you know, as Public Works has mentioned, they are looking further into the matter, that we can maybe get some bids that are kind of in a percentage-wise closer to this. Thank you.
Well, this is a fence,
Yeah.
not a railing, so
Right.
two completely different items.
Right.
So it's hard to compare, but yeah.
But just to show how bids, we that we got one
Understood.
bid on that other matter.
You're getting a good deal here.
It's good that we get multiple bids if possible, because we can see on a percentage basis, or even in this case a dollar basis, how large some of those differentiations can be on the bid process. So thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item B is an approval and acceptance of a DCO weatherization DOE grant in the amount of $507,424. This grant does not require a cost match. It's from July 1, 2025 to July 30, 2026. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions on the approval and acceptance? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item C is a change order for Emergency Operations Center to Scandrolli Construction. The original amount was $319,461. There's a change order of $170,381.18. This ensures that the facility will meet federal grant requirements, provide an efficient layout for emergency coordination, and deliver a fully functional and sustainable space for long-term citywide operations. The funding source is the congressionally directed spending grant funds. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Alderman Toomberg.
Thank you, Chairman. I have the honor tonight to make a motion to convene into closed session in order to discuss pending and threatening litigation matters.
Is there a second? Second. All right. All those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. All right.
Thank you.
session of the F&P meeting. Alderman Toomberg, do you have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second. All those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Meeting's adjourned.